I'm going to give you the 7 steps to set up an international backup plan. And that means you have somewhere to go where they're guaranteed to let you in, and you have a full mini base of operations in this other country, and you can go there whenever you want, just in case something horrible happens to your home country. And because the Western world is in a slow state of collapse, and because we've entered into a dark age, an international backup plan used to be nice, but now is actually a mandatory idea if you want to be happy long-term in your life. So here are the 7 steps. Here's how you set up an international backup plan. Step 1, you get legal residency in a country that you like. You need actual legal residency. It can be temporary residency or permanent residency. It doesn't matter, that there's no difference really functionally. But you need to get legal residency there. And the reason for that is if there is a crisis in the world or a crisis within a certain region, if you don't have residency, they will turn you away at the border. This happened to many, many, many people during the pandemic. And you don't want that problem. You want to know that your country that is your international backup plan, that second home or second possible location you have, is guaranteed 100% to let you in no matter what. And the only way to certify that is to make sure you get residency there. There are some countries that are easy to get residency in without having to move there. There are some countries, most countries actually, that are hard to get residency in. If you want advice on how to get your residency in 4 countries where it's easy, specifically Panama, Paraguay, the United Arab Emirates where I live, and Armenia, you can go to getresidency.io, and that is my course, Get Residency, on how you get legal residency in any one of those 4 countries. But the bottom line is you need full legal residency, not citizenship, not a passport, just residency in your international plan B. If you don't have legal residency in that country, you cannot consider it a backup plan because all kinds of scenarios could arise where they won't let you in. If they're not gonna let you in, it's not a backup. Step number 2, you need to make sure that that legal residency is maintained forever. Now here's the problem. You can get legal residency in countries. I have legal residency in 6 different countries right now. You can get residency in a country, but if you don't pay attention to it, if you don't file the necessary paperwork, if you don't, in some cases, go visit that country every once in a while, your residency will lapse. It only lasts a year or 2 or 3. It depends on the scenario. So you have to make sure that you know what the exact procedures are to renew your residency and the specific date when your residency lapses. You don't want it to lapse and then try to figure this out. You also don't want to get residency in a backup plan and that's good for maybe a year or 2, and then 5 years go by, and now you need it, and now you can't go there because you let your residency lapse. Make sure you fully understand the process of how to renew that residency, and if you're at all unclear, figure it out, and put that on your calendar, ideally several months before the due date occurs, when that residency actually expires so you can maintain that residency forever. Don't just set it and forget it. That's not how residencies work. That is how citizenship works, but we're not talking about citizenship here, we're talking about residency. Quick example, there was a specific form that I had to file about a year ago here in Dubai that I didn't file either because I forgot about it or none of my advisors told me about it. I'm not sure which one. And when my wife moved over here to Dubai a few months ago, we walked down to get her residency and suddenly we found out we couldn't do it because of that one piece of paper that I didn't file. And so it took us over 3 months to get her residency in the United Arab Emirates. She has it now, but it took us a long time and a lot of hassle. I don't want you to have that hassle, so make sure you fully understand how residency is renewed in your backup plan country and make sure it's maintained forever. Yes, even if you need to go visit there. And that's a side point here. You may have to go fly out to that country once or twice a year to maintain things. If you need to do that, then do it. Again, I said in step 1, it's a country that you like. So this shouldn't be a big chore for you. This should be something you should be looking forward to. You should be looking forward to go to your country, your backup plan, because you like it there. Step 3, get to know at least one city in your backup plan country reasonably well. So even though I live here in Dubai, there are individual cities all over the planet Earth that I know very, very well. I know Las Vegas very well. I know Hong Kong very well. I know Panama City very well. I know Singapore very well. I know Asuncion, Paraguay very well, and a bunch of other cities. And if you drop me randomly at any point in any of these cities, I would immediately know, or within a few minutes know, exactly where I was and exactly how to get around, because I know these cities well. I can navigate these cities extremely well, even without a map, even without a phone. You need to pick your favorite city in your backup plan country and spend time there. Get to know it. Understand what the good parts of town are, maybe where the dangerous parts of town are, where the best places to live are, how to get food there, how to get gas if you own a car there, what the best restaurants are there, the places to go for fun. All those things, those little things that you take for granted down in your current home city, you should have a decent idea of where these things are in your backup plan city. Because if and when you need to go to your backup plan, you don't want to sit there and spend a year trying to figure everything out. You want to have a reasonable understanding of that city and be comfortable. Here's the thing about this. If you actually have to escape your collapsing Western country, which you will, if you have to do that, it's going to be a stressful time for you. And you don't want to add to that stress of moving into some strange city that you've never been to before. You don't want to go through that emotionally. You want to know exactly how that works on the ground, where to go, how to navigate, what to do, how to communicate, all those things. Get a decent idea for this. And by the way, if you have no idea where to go, you can go to escapeplancourse.com, and that's my course, Escape Plan, that shows you exactly how to find the best country for you and actually how to move to that country. Step number 4, set up a bank account in this city and keep some money in there. Now, that preassumes that you have residency. Most countries, not all, but the vast majority of countries will not let you open a bank account until you have legal residency. That's why this is not step 1. So once you have your residency and you're getting to know that city, find a bank, set up a checking account in that bank or a savings account, nothing fancy. A basic account is all you need as long as it has a Visa or MasterCard debit card. That's all you need, or at least an ATM card. And put some money in there and leave it in there. This money you deposit is not an investment. You're not trying to make money on the foreign currency or what have you. It doesn't matter. You just want money there, ready to go as part of your escape plan, as part of your international backup plan. So when you arrive, you have to figure out, okay, how do I get a bunch of money from my home country and bring it over and deposit in my stupid bank? You want to have money there ready to go to cover your basics, at least for a month or two. And that's the number I would recommend, about 2 months of living expenses in that bank in the local currency. You don't necessarily have to use local currency, but I strongly recommend it. Again, the last thing you're going to want to do if you're escaping out of your collapsing Western country and you're going to your international backup plan is to sit there and try to figure out and navigate all the banks in that country. You want to have a Visa or MasterCard debit card attached to that checking account in your wallet when you land. So immediately you can navigate the finances of that country and not worry about it. Again, if you don't have a bank account with actual money in that account, it does not count as an international backup plan. Period. End of story. Step number 5, and this is even more important if you are an extrovert, but even if you're an introvert, you should do this, and that is make friends and or contacts in your new city. So make some friends, make some business contacts. If you are single or non-monogamous like me, get some girls there. Or if you're a woman, get a guy there. Do whatever you need to do in terms of whatever your lifestyle is, your objectives, your age, whatever makes sense for your personality, but make contacts on the ground. Make sure you know people who are there. Now, you would start possibly with the attorneys who helped you get residency. You would start there, but you don't want just the attorneys. Make friends, make business associates, meet people, mill a little bit. Again, if you're a single guy, date some women there. Do whatever you need to do so that when you land in this new city, you know people. One of the biggest joys I have of going to certain countries and going to certain cities over the world, whenever I travel, is I get to reunite with the people who I know there. It's a lot of fun. It makes it a big part of the adventure. And again, if you have to suddenly move to that backup plan, you want friends. You're going to want friends. You're not going to want to go somewhere where you don't know anybody, even if you're an introvert and sit on your computer all day. Now, certainly if you're an extrovert, you should do more of this, make more friends. If you're an introvert, you probably don't need as many. But you do need more than 0. So get out, make some contacts, however you want to do that, in any context you want to do that. That would be either work, friendship, or dating. Any one of those work, but do that so that you actually know people and maintain some friendships and or other contacts in that country. By the way, if you like this content, I do 3 videos a week here on how to set up your location-independent business, move to a better country, or at least set up an international backup plan we're talking about right now, and do all these things for very little money. So if you like this content, you should subscribe to this channel, put a like on this video, ring the notification bell, and leave a comment on this video, and that way you will get this content going forward for free. Step number 6, and this is the trickiest one. Get an apartment there, or have a way where you can get an apartment there very, very quickly. So there's 2 levels to this. The best case scenario is that you have an apartment there that you maintain year round. Well, Caleb, I can't afford that. Okay, that's possible. But remember, many of these countries, especially places in Southeast Asia, South America, are extremely cheap. You can get an apartment in many of these countries for $400 a month or sometimes even less. It's not very much money at all. So don't think it's a bunch of money. I'm not saying get a big lavish apartment. Just get a little studio apartment, a little home base where you can keep your stuff. And that way, when you arrive, you have somewhere to go. You don't have to lug all your stuff to a hotel or an Airbnb, because that'll be a nightmare if you're truly escaping your collapsing Western country. Get an apartment. Now, that's ideal. Now, if you absolutely don't want to do that, or you believe you don't have the financial wherewithal to do that right now, that's fine. The next best thing, not as good, but the next best thing is to fully understand how to get yourself in an apartment, not an Airbnb, an apartment you rent, an actual leased apartment month to month or year to year, very, very fast. That means several things. You have made contacts with a company or several individuals who are rental agents in that city, and you know exactly who to contact before you even leave for that country. Hey, I'll be there next week. I want an apartment. Let's get rolling on this. The second piece of this is you have to know, what part of town do you want the apartment in? What part of town do you like? What part of town can you afford? What part of town can you like and afford that is low crime, especially if it's an emerging market country? You have to know all these things so that as soon as you land, you either move right into an apartment, or maybe you have 3, 4, 5, 6 apartments in a part of town you can afford and like, where you can go visit them and immediately drop a lease and get that rolling. Not as good as having an apartment year round, but it is the next best thing, and you need at least 1 or 2 of these to consider this country a backup plan. If you do not have an apartment and you have no idea how to get an apartment very fast in that place, in that new country, it is not a backup plan in my opinion. Item number 7, build your 72-hour escape plan. This is the 72-hour rule I talk about here at Sovereign CEO. And that is, where can you be in 72 hours if you need to leave your country? So if you live in the collapsing USA or cuckoo Canada or suicidal Europe or authoritarian Australia or any one of these other collapsing socialist, quasi-authoritarian, high-tax, corrupt countries that are definitely headed for a fall, if you live in any of these countries, you need to know how to actually get to your backup plan, feet on the ground, within 72 hours. I live in Dubai, and within 72 hours, I can be in several different locations that I have as backups. I can be in Armenia literally within 8 hours. In 8 hours, my feet can be on the ground in Armenia. I can be in Paraguay in literally 48 hours from any given point. 48 hours, maybe a little longer, 50 hours, my feet on the ground. And to be clear, that doesn't mean you leave in 72 hours. That means you wake up in the morning in your current country and you have your feet on the ground in your backup plan country within 72 hours. I can be in Mexico within 48 hours. I can be in the United States within 24 hours. I have all these other places I could go if there's ever a problem with Dubai. I don't plan on there being a problem with Dubai, but just in case there is, I'm out of here because I have all this infrastructure laid out. I have my 72-hour escape plan ready to go. You need this too. As the Western world continues to collapse, as we continue into this dark age in which we have entered, there will be scenarios in mainstream Western countries where you're going to need to get the hell out of the country very, very fast. There's no point in having an international backup plan if you need 2 or 3 weeks to move there. You may not have 2 or 3 weeks. Now, maybe you will have 2 or 3 weeks, but you might not. There are all kinds of scenarios, Ukraine, where you need to get the hell out of the country very, very, very quickly. So you should know exactly how you can leave that country, your current home country, within 72 hours. If you want more details on that, you should watch this video right now on exactly how to develop your 72-hour escape plan, and I'll see you in that video.